So I got a hold of beer data, and I looked at the beer data in Japan, and over 30 years, there was only 4 times the market share trajectory changed, despite enormous new product work, enormous marketing. And they were all when a new subcategory was formed, like Asahi's Dry. And then I looked at computers, and it was the same thing. If you look at over 40 years, you look at surges of growth, it was always a new category. It was, the Sun Microsystem, or it was the Apple. And so they always created new subcategories. And then I looked at a dozen other product areas, and it was the same thing. So I made the assertion that the only way to grow was to create a whole new subcategory. My brand versus your brand is not, it just almost never results in growth. I think the most robust and empirical finding is that if you try to predict new product success, there's one variable that stands out. And this has been true for 100 years. I can show you studies in the 50s that showed this. And that is the single variable that predicts new product success is how different it is. Forever, Me Too products struggle. So then comes digital, and that put this whole phenomenon, which has existed forever, on steroids. Because 3 things appear with digital. One is simple technology, the internet, the iPhone, the Internet of Things. All those technical things have spawned hundreds of extremely successful new subcategory formations. The second thing is the speed. New subcategories, in the case of Japan, 4 of them in 30 years. But now they come out, twice a year. The sheer number of these things that appear. Dollar Shave Club started off as a e-commerce shaving thing, and 4 years later, it was sold for $1 billion. And then you have the phenomenon of a website and social media. And that has made communication so much different. A Dollar Shave Club went on, created a 3-minute video. A 3-minute video. And you can go on YouTube and look at it. It's extremely funny, very outrageous. It made fun of the big brands. And they got 12,000 new customers in 2 days. You couldn't do that 10 or 20 years ago even. So in summary, subcategories have been the route to growth forever. It's not a new thing, but digital put that whole thing on steroids.
Right. So David, what are the ways that companies can make sure that they are finding subcategories?
Well, there is no simple rule or way. First of all, they can come from all sorts of places. They can come from, customer innovations. They can come from technology innovations. So one of the things you have to do is to keep your ability to sense what's happening out there. And it needs to be a market sensing. My colleague George Day wrote books on how you be market sensing company. And so that when something happens in the marketplace, the customer is changing in some way. There's a new trend that you understand it and you detect it early. But you also have to be on the technology side, especially in the digital age. Steve Jobs was really good at that. He would wait until the technology was ready before he came out with the iPod, which appeared 2 years after Sony had done it, or with the iPad, which appeared 2 years later after Microsoft had done it. But he waited till the technology was right, and then he did it. And so you have to understand when technology is emerging and when it's ready. The next challenge is to have an organization that is in place that's able to to capitalize on it, to be innovative, to be entrepreneurial. What most organizations are really good at is operations. They get better and better at including marketing and promotions and product refinement. They get really good at that.
Yeah.
And they're staffed with people that are really good at that. And the organizational process is not geared to change. It's not geared to taking risks. It's not populated with people that are good at that. So that's a huge challenge. And increasingly, companies have to be agile. They have to be able to do that. So those are really the two challenges.